All right, let's get started. Gateway, do you have any updates?
Yes, updates on Gateway. From last week, we have added consensus layer endpoints, which are ready to use now. Also, on weekends, we had not even an incident, however, needed to recover several nodes, and they were Erigon nodes. They are recovered now. It simply needed to change the Docker Hub repo. That was changed on Erigon side, so we updated accordingly. And that's all.
Which endpoints are those? Consensus layer, like which clients? I mean,
this is they are in general a general endpoints, and they all connected to Lighthouse.
Okay. And do you know why those Erigon nodes crashed?
Erigon Docker Hub repo was changed from what it was in the past.
But why did those nodes like restart, for example? Like, there's a reason why they needed to repull that image, right?
Yeah. The why they were restarted, I did not check.
Okay, would be good to check. Maybe there was an issue, right? So, because we had some reports also from other Erigon nodes having issues. So yeah.
All right.
Yeah, thank you. Shudder, any news?
Hi. Yeah, so we've been working on spec changes for the Shutterized Validators registry in collaboration with Nethermind. We've also been working on our Explorer for encrypted transactions, doing quite a few front-end polishing changes there. Then we just today have a new Keeper mainnet release. That's aligned with the updated Nethermind client that improves peer discovery mainly and some other like performance improvements, let's say. And then also we've started to have talked with Erigon to get Shutterized Validators implemented there as well. I think that's it.
The changes to the Validator registry, are those the like aggregated BLS signatures for registration, basically?
Yeah, so that's that you can register more than one validator in one message, basically. And yeah, we're currently working out a way to do that in a backwards compatible way, which looks like we will be able to do.
All right. Yeah, I think I have everything. For testing, do you have news for Hive tests?
Hi. Yes, last week I have implemented continuous integration for Hive test, and now all the tests run in just about 30 minutes. We also had some issues with Nethermind master build, but all they were resolved, and now all the tests pass again. Yeah, that's pretty it from Hive.
All right, for Ethereum/tests.
Hello guys, from Ethereum test side, I am debugging an issue that I found in the Nethermind side of the THN tool that generates some mismatch. I'm trying to fix that before finishing up the integration.
That was in the T8N tool, right?
The issue is in the THN implementation of Nethermind.
Oh, come on. All right. And that's not fixed yet, right?
No, it's not fixed yet. Hopefully by end of week and before DevCon, I will have it ready.
All right. Regarding client updates, Nethermind.
So as always, we made some performance improvements, and we managed to have a run with this famous 1 gigagas on average for a few hours. And what else? But we are not going to release it before DevCon for sure. We will see, but because there are some issues in testing, so we have to fix them, of course, before we will release it. Other than that, progressing with Spectra and for Force, I have seen that Ashraf made PR with ERA formats. Of course, it is totally not tested yet, but there is some progress.
Can you send a link to that PR?
Yeah, give me a second.
And also, is there a way currently to run Nethermind in like a fully pruned node, like in a selfish way that should definitely not be done, but just for testing to know, well, basically to find out how much size it would take post for Force?
Yes, it's possible. It's totally possible. So you want to check how much size you will have on the node if you remove pre-merge data, for example.
Yes.
Yes, it's possible. I will let you know. And give me some time to find PR.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you. In the meanwhile, we can move on to Erigon.
Yes, so a couple of updates. We switched our Docker from on Docker Hub from Thorax to Erigon Tech. So Thorax Erigon is no longer available. And just now we released patch release 2.60.10. It patches a corner case in the tracing API, basically in some tracing API for historical tracing, changes that with Denkun are now introduced at the beginning of a block with like to store the beacon root. They were basically scrapped in the tracing API, and so that patch fixes that. And like because of that, some transactions were reported as reverted, or in fact they were not reverted, and so on. Yeah, so yeah, if you experience weird issues with the tracing API, please upgrade to that patch. We are going, I think, to release a beta version based on Erigon 2 soon, which contains Spectra DevNet 4. Yeah, and I think that's all from me. Perhaps Somnat has something to add.
Thanks, Andrew. I was facing a block hash mismatch on Genesis for Gnosis Spectra DevNet 1. It would be good to have some additional details into the block header RLP for the block RLP from Nethermind's client that was used to generate this, because I suspect there might have been some changes that I may have missed for Gnosis, because the mechanism to import the block Genesis is working fine with Ethereum and also for Denkun-based DevNets that we used to have earlier. But right now I'm having some kind of differences. I realized that the Genesis block is not yet into Pectra, so it should not be related to Pectra, or at least that's my assumption. none of the Pectra fields should get activated, but it's possible that it is getting updated in Nethermind's code, or there's a difference in Gnosis that I missed. It would be good to have some assistance to debug this further, because I'm kind of stuck.
And for which network is that? For
The
DevNet or?
latest Gnosis DevNet one for Pectra.
All right, okay. Mark, you had your
Yeah, I wanted to ask the same question basically. Erigon, can you help with getting those traces, because you have done it before with for the Plion? So my
Yes,
sorry, once again.
yeah, sure.
Thanks, Erigon. And my understanding is that you are getting different Genesis hash on DevNet 1.
Yes.
Okay.
So is DevNet 1 the new one or the previous one?
It's the new one, the current one.
Quick question, is Spectra activated in Genesis or later? Because you mentioned that it is activated later, but
So the timestamp on Genesis is 0. So from that, it should not be activated, is my assumption.
timestamp in Genesis is 0, so should be activated, right?
Should not.
Okay, let's continue maybe on Telegram. Like if Pectra is in Genesis, then there is this request hash, and I remember that there were some discussion about how to what does it mean to empty hash in this request route. So it might be related, but if you are saying that should not be, then I don't know. I'm just throwing ideas quickly.
Yeah, so I did not go that far. I just tried a few things and gave up, because if the timestamp on Genesis is 0 and the fork activation time is sometime later, I think Genesis should not have the fork activated. But maybe the assumption is different in different clients. Not really sure of that, but previously, if the Genesis timestamp would be 0, I don't know what the convention is. I think it should be that it's not activated yet. Maybe on block 1 it is activated. It depends on the CL, but it's possible that the request hash being not nil or not null might be the culprit. I'll give it a try as well.
Yes, and be careful about this request hash, because the request hash is not request hash 0 is not the same as state root as other hashes, because there was some convention to do like 3 or 0 hashes or something like that. We can continue on Telegram. Yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to say yes. Okay, fine, thanks.
Thank you.
All right, yeah, let's continue that on Telegram. Geth, any news?
Nope, no, I mean, not much. I found where the issue roughly was. It's in the create 2 call, but it doesn't seem related to what I thought was self-destruct. So it looks like it's really in the direct cost of create 2 and not the execution of the init code or things like this. But yeah, I'm preparing for DEF CON, so I haven't really made too much progress about this. I also got nerd-sniped a bit on the RIS5 project, so I was spending some time on that this morning, which yeah, I shouldn't have been. But yeah, overall, it's not a very complicated issue. I just have to find exactly why some more gas gets consumed. And when I do, it should be able to resume and sync the test.
And that's for just full sync in Chapella, right?
Yeah, so it's full sync that has a bug, like finds a different gas consumption in a block that is happening like 2 hours after Chapella, maybe 5, like same day. Yeah, and I don't know why, but more gas gets consumed.
All right, thank you. Reth.
Hello. I am testing the client currently, and till now, like I'm writing manual tests for some of the features. 1559 is done, and currently I'm testing withdrawals. I want to start with the Ethereum / tests for Gnosis, but I'm waiting on the Nethermind T8 fix for that.
So you tested EIP 1559?
Yeah, I mean, I got Lan gave me some feedback, so I have to modify the PR a little, but yeah, it's mostly done.
Okay.
And withdrawals, I have to raise the PR.
Okay, and where are you at with importing the state after the merge?
Importing state, so I got a state at I think 50,000 block height or something from Geth, and importing that works fine for Gnosis. Now I just need the state post merge, and yeah, I think it'll take around 1.5 to 2 weeks. Yeah, so I mean I tested basically then.
Yeah, so just to confirm, I started the sync with pre-images yesterday or 2 days ago, and it's going to take 2 weeks about to get to that point. So I still have, this is still the same problem, right? It will die right after Chapella, but if all you care about is a post-merge state, I can provide that in, yeah, basically after DEF CON.
Yeah, pretty much post-merge works.
But can you get a post, like at the merge block on Geth without executing everything?
No, because I need to accumulate all the pre-images. So unless someone else has the pre-images, which actually could be done provided by Erigon, that's a good point. Unless I have that, I cannot. Yeah, I won't be able to have all the pre-images.
Yeah, so we need to wait for the sync to be fixed and then a full sync to happen.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like Debjit was saying, if everything he cares about is a post-merge sync, yeah, I just need to let it roll until the end of the, like past the merge, and that's it, right?
Yeah.
I don't need to, it's not dependent on my bug, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But your bug is pre-merge, right? Oh no, it's no. Okay, it's
Shanghai.
Yeah, it's a Chapella, right? My bad. So yeah, all good. And you can just stop the execution at that specific block and export to the state then.
It will stop by itself.
Okay, perfect. Sounds good. Is there anything else to discuss on Pectra's side? Maybe Line? I don't know if you have something to add.
Nothing new.
Like those changes in the consensus layer, like config. Is there anything to discuss on that side?
I see. Sure, I can mention that. Let me pull up the issue. Okay, so something that's going to change for, I'm not sure if it's going to be for Pectra or for the next fork. It's still undecided, but we want to increase the blob count. If you recall, currently the blob count is hard-coded twice in the consensus execution layer. In the execution layer, via the target blob gas and max blob gas. In the consensus layer, with a network parameter that's the max blobs that defines the networking rules of what blobs are allowed and what not. Now that in Gnosis, the particularity that we have is that in the consensus layer, to keep things the same, the number is the same as Ethereum, which is 6, while in execution, we have an 2. Now that we will change the number in the consensus, I did some analysis on what's going to happen with that, and I think the conclusion is that there is no issue. What will happen in Gnosis is that the consensus layer would actually have a decrease in the max from 6 to some number. Could be 2, could be higher, but definitely not higher than 6. And because it only affects the network, should not be a problem. Even if there is another proposal where now there will be not a double hard code anymore. Instead, it will be communicated from consensus to execution via the payload attributes. And even in that case, it doesn't matter, because the execution layer would go from 2 to whatever number the consensus layer tells it, which would match what we want. So yeah, that's all.
Yeah, so is there a conclusion on that side? Is there anything we need to do?
So what we need to do is we need to choose the number. For now, the max remains the same, which is 2. I don't have any reason to believe why we should increase it. I think blob usage in the network is not at capacity, so yeah. I guess, yeah, to go back, the reason why we choose to keep them separate is to give us the option to increase the max on execution without having to change consensus. So now, if consensus is the leading indicator, or basically the decider on the max, now means that we will depend on consensus layer changes to be able to bump the blob count. So that's another thing to take into consideration. What I mean is, changing a constant looks easy from a spec level, but at an implementation level, it's quite involved. You need to do a significant amount of changes. So if there is not a scheduled increase of blob count in Ethereum, we will not be able to piggyback from that in Gnosis unless we want to fork the clients, which we will not.
Yeah, definitely. Which is also why we decided to go the EL routes to limit to 2 instead of the CL routes.
Yeah.
All right. Let's keep that in mind then. Anything else to add? All right. Well, then, thanks for joining. For those who will be in DEF CON, a lot of Gnosis people will be there too. I think a lot of Nethermind people will be there as well. So yeah, maybe let's get together at some point. Could be fun. Yeah, then thanks for joining, and see you next week and in Bangkok potentially.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Have a good week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.